Okay, so picture this. You're a developer. You've been coding for a while now. You're good at it. You're getting things done, but
Yeah.
something feels off.
Yeah.
Like there's this lack of growth. You're not really moving forward, and
Right.
the path ahead just seems kind of hazy.
Exactly.
Have you ever felt like that? Because
Oh, absolutely.
we're diving deep into that feeling today.
Yeah, it's like
That feeling of stagnation,
it's so common,
especially in a field that's like
especially in web dev, right?
constantly changing. Yeah.
It changes all the time.
So we want to figure out, like, what is this feeling? Why did we get stuck?
Yeah, how do we get unstuck?
How do we get out of it? Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's interesting you say that it's super common because, I mean, honestly, I feel like everyone I talk to in the industry's kind of feeling this right now.
Yeah, it's that feeling of like you're on a treadmill.
Yeah.
You're running and running and running, but you're not actually getting anywhere.
You're not going anywhere. Yeah. And
it can be so frustrating.
it's super frustrating,
Yeah.
especially because, we're all pretty ambitious.
Yeah.
Most developers that I know, they want to be learning. They want to be growing. They want to be, the best.
Want to be challenged.
Challenge, yeah, exactly.
And when you're just kind of like stuck in this rut, it's like, where's the challenge?
Right, and I think it's easy to like blame yourself.
Oh, yeah.
When you feel that way, you're like, oh, am I not working hard enough? Or am I not, dedicated enough?
Yeah.
But I think
it's important to remember that this feeling is actually a signal.
okay, interesting.
Like it's a signal that something needs to change.
Like a wake-up call, almost.
Yeah, like a wake-up call.
Okay, I like that.
It's not a sentence, it's a signal.
Okay, a signal, not a sentence.
Exactly.
I'm going to write that down.
But yeah, it's telling you like, hey, maybe you need to look at your skills, maybe you need to look at your, your job, maybe you need to look at your goals and just kind of reassess.
Okay, so if we're getting this signal, this wake-up call, where do we even begin? Like, what are the steps to kind of figure out, like, what to do next?
Well, I think the first step is to kind of take a step back and really assess where you're at.
Okay.
Like, look at your current skill set. What are you good at? What do you enjoy doing? And maybe even more importantly, what do you not enjoy doing?
Okay.
Because sometimes we get so caught up in like what we should be doing that we forget to kind of listen to ourselves and what we actually want to be doing.
That's true. So it's like taking inventory of your skills, your passions, and your kind of dislikes too.
Exactly.
And then what? So like, let's say you've taken inventory and you're like, all right, I'm good at this.
Yeah.
I like doing this. But maybe you're still feeling stuck.
Right.
Where do you go from there?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting because sometimes that means stepping outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever like looked into maybe some niche technologies?
Okay, niche technology. So that's
stuff that maybe isn't like the mainstream, the React, the Angular, the Vue.
Right.
Like, have you ever looked at something like WebAssembly?
I've heard of WebAssembly, but I've always kind of felt intimidated by it, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's understandable.
Yeah.
But sometimes those are the areas that can really like spark that
interest.
Yeah,
like,
that passion again.
Okay, but what about, everyone always talks about like, oh, there's a new framework every week. There's a new library. How do you choose which ones to invest in?
And that's a great point, right? It's not about chasing every shiny new thing.
Okay.
It's about being strategic and choosing the ones that align with your interests.
Okay.
And have a strong community backing.
Okay, so like, is there longevity to this? Is there, a lot of people working with this? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because you don't want to invest all this time and energy into learning something that's just gonna,
Right, disappear in 6 months.
Yeah. So yeah, being strategic is key.
Okay, so we've talked about kind of self-assessment. We've talked about niche technologies.
Yeah.
What are some other strategies to kind of get out of this rut?
Collaboration,
okay.
Collaboration's huge.
How so?
Because, sometimes when you're feeling stuck, it's easy to kind of isolate yourself and just kind of, stay in your own little bubble.
Yeah, you're in your own head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when you collaborate with others, when you work on projects together, when you share your knowledge, it can really like reignite that passion.
Oh, okay.
And it can expose you to new perspectives.
I could see how that would help.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you are just staring at a screen by yourself. It can be a little isolating.
It can be very isolating, and it's easy to lose sight of like the bigger picture.
Right. Right. Of why we do what we do.
Oh, the why. Yeah.
The why, yeah. And I think that's another important thing to remember is like, why did you get into web development in the first place? What were those early projects that like really excited you?
Yeah.
That you were just like so passionate about?
That you couldn't sleep because you were so excited to work on them.
Exactly. Exactly. And sometimes just like revisiting those projects or thinking about those like initial reasons why you got into this can be really motivating.
Okay, so I'm hearing like revisit your why, collaborate.
Elaborate, yeah.
And we talked about taking inventory, assessing your skills.
Assessing your skills, yeah.
So that's a lot of really great takeaways. So I guess like the main takeaway is that feeling stagnant, it's not the end. It's actually like an opportunity.
It's an opportunity.
To reassess and explore.
Absolutely.
And potentially redirect like your whole
path. Yeah.
And it can be exciting, you know?
Yeah, it's like an adventure.
It is. It's like an adventure. So yeah, I guess like what small step could you take today to like maybe explore a new area of web dev or reconnect with like that joy of coding that, you know, that we all felt at some point.
Yeah, that initial spark.
Yeah, the initial spark, exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think that is a perfect place to leave it.
Awesome.
So thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive.
Oh, thanks for having me.
And listeners, you know what to do.
Yeah.
Go out there, go explore, go code.
And have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you next time.
See ya. Fun.